71. We're at 71, everybody. The march to 100 keeps continuing, but we're talking about a higher number today. UFC 260, Miocic and Francis Ngannou Heavyweight Championship on the line. I am Ray Highclack, dealing with allergies, and back from PA is the lovely Tim Danko. Holy shit, and he looks like the very same person that he went into Pennsylvania as.
Like, what did you expect? Man, did you
no
expect
teeth,
some sort of operation?
longer beard.
Have you
I was expecting those things.
What parts of Pennsylvania have you been to?
Oh, I like the southwestern tip, like on the border of West Virginia. I was at a field party where I watched a dude inject beer into his veins.
Fantastic. I think I talked about the Bear Roast party in Pennsylvania I went to a while back. That was fun. But I'm like in the towns, northeast Pennsylvania. My family's like in the towns that are around that documentary Gasland. That propaganda documentary that's anti-fracking or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, one of the towns that's in that first documentary is called Dimmock, and I drove through Dimmock yesterday on my way to Cooperstown, Ray.
Yeah. How was that, by the way?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Baseball Hall of Fame. It's the second time I've been there. It's been like a decade since I've been there. But it's great. It's fun. I mean, they had, precautions because of COVID, but it wasn't too big a deal. It was just we had to buy our tickets in advance and like pick a time, but it wasn't a big deal.
What has changed since the last time you were there?
I don't remember what it looked like the last time I was there.
Okay.
I don't really remember. I was trying to think about it. I'm like, I don't know. Well, I could tell you, I mean, there was a lot of stuff there just obviously wasn't there last time because it didn't exist last time. There's a lot of new people that are inducted. I took like 30 pictures, I think. I sent you some. I sent you a picture of the Willie Stargell plaque and the
San Diego chicken.
I
love that one.
I only took 3 selfies. One was with the San Diego chicken, one was with Philly Fanatic, and one was like in front of Jim Tomey's plaque, I think.
Nice. Yes.
Well, it's great. And you know me, I love baseball to death. I'm not going to say I don't like history. I like just different kinds of history, but I'm most interested in the history of sports, especially baseball. So as soon as I walk in there, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Let's walk. You get in, the first thing you see. Well, let's see. A guy that works there tells you how to do it. He's like, go to the second floor first, then the third floor, and then come back on the first floor. Okay, sir. So the first thing you see on the second floor is like, the beginning of baseball. Right. And they have like some of the original balls that like, and they're Doubleday used, when he made the, apparently came out with the game. And some of those bats were like logs in some of the old uniforms.
Yeah. I've seen
people were smaller back then.
They were. It was less food to go around, sir. We don't have factory farming like we do now.
And they were just, they were shorter.
Mm. But I've always wanted to go to Cooperstown. Like, that's one museum in the world I want to go more than anything. I've been to the Football Hall of Fame and I was underwhelmed by it, like very underwhelmed. Like, this is the Football Hall of Fame. I can put a pair of pads on that I would have put on in high school. Like, a lot of Tom Brady. I hated the fact that Tom Brady was almost all over that fucking building. I was like, no. And I went for free, so I could actually give an honest opinion because I didn't spend money. It was free. I wanted tickets at like a raffle. But fuck Tom Brady.
I think there's more interactive stuff with the football one. The baseball one is basically, because that's a sport that has so much more history than football.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's history and all but the stuff they have there is amazing, and all the stuff that is there should be there, right? I mean, there's a couple people out there that have some cool collectibles that they're hoarding to themselves, but most of the good stuff is in the Hall of Fame. And I took a picture of what's his name? I'm about to say Brett Saberhagen, but not him. I'm drawing a blank.
Corey Sandhagen?
No. Played for the Royals. I know so does Sandhagen. That doesn't help. Pine Tar guy. Pine Tar bat.
I do not know.
Driving me nuts. I gotta look it up. It's Brett something.
I forget names easily, like historical names I'll know, but like I don't know a lot of like history of baseball. I love baseball. Baseball is like, I would say it's my third favorite sport just because like I have hockey and then combat.
George Brett. It's George Brett. Jeez.
Oh, okay, yeah, George Brett.
George Brett, yeah, the pine tar incident, right? He hit the home run. They said he had too much pine tar. That bat was there. The bat where Joe Carter won the World Series for the Twins, right? Was it the Twins?
Was
Blue Jays or Twins? That anyway, that bat was there.
What about the guy from the LA Dodgers?
Which one? There's a lot of them.
Game-winning home run in like the first
Kirk
game.
Gibson. I don't know if that baller bat's there. They had some pictures of it and stuff, but I think they had one of Sandy Koufax's Cy Youngs in there.
Nice.
No, it's great. It's really cool. We got that through it pretty quick, a couple hours.
Okay.
So the only thing is, if you go there, like, it's not by anything. Cooperstown, just a tiny town on a lake, and you literally drive past farms to get there, and you think you're going the wrong way. But like once you get up the exit, you have to drive 18 miles on this road to get into the town. It's in the middle of nowhere. But
it's kind of like going to Cedar Point.
Kind of, but it's so baseball. Like once you get there, you're just like, this is kind of perfect for baseball, right? It's just a tiny town, and it's how like baseball began, and it's just, I don't know. I like it, but there's not a whole lot to do in Cooperstown. Like if you wanted to make that your vacation, number one, would be a pain in the butt because especially if you couldn't drive there, because you have to rent a car because there's nowhere close. It's probably a while from the nearest airport. But anyway, now I want to go to the Football Hall of Fame just to say I did it like in the same week. I wanted to do it today. I drove past it today on my way home, but I haven't been there in a while either. I've actually been to the Baseball Hall of Fame twice since I've been to the Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame last, and I'm right by that one. I drive past it all the time and just haven't been in there.
Didn't you live by there too?
Yeah, I live like walking distance from there for a couple years.
I've always wanted. I've been outside of it, but I've never actually been in the building because we were already going a little bit more, I think, eastern into Canada. But I've been outside the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. And the building looks dope. It's like one of those like old. It looks like something out of Batman almost, like where it's just steps upon steps. Or like if you ever look at like the buildings in Japan, where it's like windows just the entire way up, just showing you beauty of hockey, and you're like, I want to be in there. And that jersey you're wearing, a few of them are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. One is Jock Callender, who was like a mentor to me growing up. He was one of the young guys on the Lumberjacks when they first started, when they came from Muskingum to Cleveland. And his jersey's in there for all-time leading scorer in minor league hockey history. And then Jimmy Pack's jersey as well is in there for being the first Korean-born NHL hockey player.
When I was walking around seeing all this Ichiro stuff in there, because he has holds the hits record for in a season, and he holds, and what else does he hold? Hits record for a season, consecutive seasons with something. I think consecutive hits too. I think he's tied with a couple other people for consecutive hits, like 18 or something, which is crazy.
Interesting.
Anyway, but I was thinking, I'm like, man, if this guy ever officially retires, he had a bat in like a sim game or something. No, like something with the Mariners the other day. Like if he ever officially retires, he could finally get in the Hall of Fame. Like he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to be the first. Yeah. He's going to be the first Asian player in the Hall of Fame, I believe. Unless there's one from a while ago, I don't remember. But definitely the first one born there, I believe.
He was the first. He was like the first Japanese player you heard outside of like maybe some of the guys that were in like Mr. Baseball from Japan, where you're like, oh, I know this guy. I know this guy. Like I know Ichiro Suzuki. Okay.
When he came over, man, it was. I mean, everybody knew like his stats. They heard. I mean, he's not the first guy, but the last guy to have hype from him coming from Japan. But they're like, dude, this guy's the hit machine. And you're like, he's not pacing baseball pitching, right? And you just see what he does and his approach. And you're like, dude, this guy could go 3 for 5 every day till he dies. Like this guy, this is the way that guy hits. I'm like, that guy just I think he's just smarter than everybody else, and he just knows how to get on base. And I'm like, this guy is a perfect leadoff man. And he was a fantastic outfielder too. He had a cannon.
Yeah,
like this guy is special, and he won the MVP and the Rookie of the Year in 2001, I think it was. So.
Yes.
Yeah, that was neat. He was the man. He'll definitely be in for sure. And that would be cool because, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's the first Japanese player who will be in.
I actually got to see him a few times for like interleague play back when they still did interleague play before. Now everybody just plays everybody. And it was cool to see him at like PNC Park Because I after I think it was like 99, we stopped going to like Indians games and just started like didn't go to baseball for like 2 years until we started going to Pirates games more often. And then we'd see Ichiro like I think like once a year kind of thing where we'd be like, we'll go to the Mariners, and then the like couple weeks after we'll go see, the Pirates play the Astros and get their asses beat by like Lance Berkman and fucking Jeff Bagwell when he was still playing.
Those teams were nuts. Like Ken Caminiti was in those teams too. Like
that World Series team.
Yeah.
That World Series team to me is the last World Series team the Astros legitimately had.
I believe you.
And because the 2016 one was a bullshit one, and that's coming from a guy who up until 2019 was a diehard American League Astros fan, because I'm like, I finally have a team in the AL that I can root for. And then they break my fucking heart in 2000 by being what's the word? Caught as cheaters. Yeah, you're like, fuck you, dude. Like I cried at Lakewood Village Tavern because they won the World Series. I know where I was. It rained right afterwards. It was almost like my dad was happy up in wherever the fuck he is and was like, oh my God, we finally did it. And then we find out that Jose Altuve is a piece of shit. Like, it's just, ugh. Oh, I hate that whole team. They should just fucking close that team down now and call themselves like the Colt 45s again.
I was talking about how some of the players back in the day, those 1800s uniforms were smaller because people were smaller. They're all still bigger than Jose Altuve, though. Like, Altuve, that guy's like 5'8" or something, right? Or no, shorter. He's like 5'6", isn't he?
Yeah, he's like 5'6", 5'7". Like, I want to say
but he's a beast, and I'm mad at him now. I used to like him. I'm mad at him. Hey, there's a dude that lives around me who got on the ground into a double play. So there you go. That's pretty cool. Actually, he was at our show. I told you we talked about him before. Percy. He went to our show in January. Last January. He was there for a little bit. What else was I going to say? Oh, I found out that the Baseball Hall of Fame, even though they work with MLB, is probably just cooler than Major League Baseball itself, because they do kind of run independently, even though they do work together. I don't know how it works exactly. My point is they have a bunch of Pete Rose stuff all over there, like Pete Rose bats, Pete Rose stuff, all this Pete Rose stuff. And I'm like, well, he's in the Hall of Fame. Same thing with Barry Bonds too. But the thing is, I don't care for him or Roger Clemens. I believe those guys should be kept out of the Hall of Fame, the steroid guys, but Pete Rose should have been in a long time ago.
My thing is too, I mean, I think we've talked about it in the past on this show and even with each other, that like I hate the Baseball Writers Association like everybody else does, because we're not going to have a single person in our Hall of Fame this year. We're not going to do it. We're just, you know what? Nobody did well. There's got to be some dude in like the Appalachian League you can fucking put in there because he hit 1,000 in a season or something. Like, put that fucking guy in.
Everyone who has a vote gets like to pick who they want in, right? So if someone put yes votes on somebody, they would saying, hey, let's put this person in. But there just wasn't enough votes. 75% you have to get 75% of the vote to get in. So no one got 75% of the vote this year. So
I hate it.
They're not saying that no one should get in, just they don't have a consensus on who should get in.
But how does Football Hall of Fame do it though?
They put 6 in. I think it's 6 in every year, no matter what.
That should be what they do.
That's too many. That's too many, man. I think there's some people you could wean out of the Hall of Fame. I don't have any names, but I guarantee if I'd like start looking, I'd be like, yeah, I can wean these people out. Baseball, dude, everybody in that Hall of Fame deserves it, man. Everyone. Even they put Harold Baines in recently, but Harold Baines is still pretty good.
I don't know who Harold Baines is.
He's good. He's good. He didn't make it in originally, but the Veterans Association put in it.
Oh, okay.
Which they do every handful of years. They put people in. They didn't do it this year, I don't think. I don't know.
Can you name 3 of the original inductees?
I just looked at the plaque yesterday. I don't remember. I didn't really look. I skimmed it. I was in front of it. I was in front of the plaque because they have their own section, the originals. I can't remember.
Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb. Those are your 3 original Hall of Famers. And the only reason I remember that is JP.
Okay.
The Honus Wagner to me is God. Like that guy.
That's why I sent you that picture.
I know. I
Of
was
his
happy
uniform.
to see it. I
should
saw
have
it,
taken a
and I
selfie in
was
front of it,
happy.
so you have to look at it with my face gone.
Like
it was the chicken.
You look like the guy he was trying to like keep the cigarette packs from not having his baseball cards in. Like you would smoke and be like, I just want the Thai cob.
They have a whole thing about baseball cards
Wagner.
too. They have a whole thing about baseball cards too. I mean, just under the glass, you're talking about baseball cards that are probably worth, I don't know what the max baseball card, 100,000. I don't know, a lot. I mean, just the stuff, street value of all that stuff in there is insane, all of it.
I mean, if you found a Honus Wagner card right now in an attic, you would just be like, I'm retiring. Like
I wouldn't know what to do it. I'd be so afraid to even touch it. I
would too.
I mean, I need like a vacuum seal and some sort of safe.
You'd be afraid to run into a
hazmat suit.
you got like one of those 0 Dark 30 bomb suits on.
Yes, exactly. like the Hurt Locker. I'm picking up with a robot, so no human hands touches it, and wheeling it to me like a remote control car.
Oh
yeah, that'd be fun. But I just want to say this because you're talking about what the Hall of Fame looked like, the Hockey Hall of Fame, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame from the outside looks pretty cool too. This one is just, I mean, it looks like every small town's courthouse. Because like if you didn't know it was there, like it says it's right here, and you look up like, oh, there's a sign. Like it's just there. Like with all the other buildings in town. There's also a military base right there, right next to it. Because the first one, like I see a bunch of people in fatigues. Then right next to it, I saw like military vehicles. I'm like, oh, there's some sort of base here. I don't know what kind of base it is. And there's also a lake right by it too, which is actually really nice. It's a real big lake. I don't know the name of the lake, but it's like you see the Hall of Fame, then like right behind the next street, there's a giant lake right there. So it's a nice place for sure. However, like I said, it's not super exciting. I just thought it was of a town, but I thought it was just kind of funny thinking about Lemo's going through those farm towns trying to get to the Hall of Fame. They do every summer. Well, maybe not this summer, but most summers.
Think about how cool it is, though, for like the inductees that have driven down that road as well. Oh, like Babe Ruth, at one point, his feet were on that like dirt road, possibly taking like a syphilitic piss. You know, like it's
possibly wasn't he? And he's not the only one. So.
I was watching John Oliver. Some old John Oliver from like a couple of years ago, and they were talking about Babe Ruth. Or no, I know what it was. It was Bill Maher from yesterday. He was talking about the Roaring 20s, and he was like, Babe Ruth was hit the longest home run in the 20s, 575 feet, while with syphilis and eating a pork chop. Like that sounds like Babe Ruth right there.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
He was a hero of mine growing up. Like I loved Babe Ruth a lot, and then I watched the Babe, and I'm like, I love Babe Ruth even more. Like finding out all the crazy shit he did.
There was a couple players that they had a lot dedicated to. They had a lot dedicated to Babe Ruth. They had a lot dedicated to Hank Aaron.
Yeah,
which was cool. I don't know if it was there before he died. I know because it's not that big of a building. I know they have more stuff than they put on display. Like they say, like they have like a whole warehouse full of stuff, and they rotate some stuff in and out. But I'm like, can I go to the warehouse? I'm like, I want to see what else you got. But yeah, it was pretty sweet. That Hank Aaron thing was pretty cool. The Negro League setup was pretty cool. They had a whole thing wing dedicated to that. They had women in a baseball thing too, like the old the League of Their Own league, the Women's Professional Baseball League. And
yeah, I want to go to see that just to like. I would sing the song from the end of the movie while I'm like.
I think they have an interactive thing that will play it. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think awesome. So. I didn't push a lot of them, but the only thing I did is like there's like a fan feedback survey about different kind of things in baseball. I did one. It was about the DH, and it was weird. Like,
are you for it?
Well, I like the way it is now. I'd much rather have no DH than both leagues having DHs, but I'm an American League baseball fan, so I like the DH. However, I don't want both teams to have the DH because I also like to see pitchers hit. So
yeah,
that's what I put there. And actually, it doesn't surprise me because I think that the majority of the people who took that survey there is like 70 to 30 that are for pitchers hitting at least in one league.
Oh yeah,
because the people that go there are purists. You know, like. It's not just the people like that who watch baseball. If it was, they would never change anything. If only the people who go to the Baseball Hall of Fame watch baseball, they wouldn't change a thing ever, which would be great. But it is what it is.
I remember the Pirates had a really good hitting pitcher back when they would do that. And I can't remember his name, but he was like one of their starting pitchers, but he would just constantly be in the batting cages. And he has, I think, the longest home run in PNC Park history, surpassing Albert Pujols for that fucking honor. Because anytime Albert Pujols stepped up to the
recent,
within 2000 and because PNC Park has been a ballpark since 2001, I believe.
Did they have Mike Hampton? Mike Hampton was one of the better hitting pitchers. I think he holds the record for home run for pitchers.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a game a couple years ago I was watching on TV. It was Giants, Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner. Awesome.
Okay.
Matchup, right? They homered off each other.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of great. Well, they're both pitching great, but they both gave up homers to each other.
It was fixed. Like they were like, they called each other the night before. I'm going to throw you like an inside curve. Just put everything you have into it and crush the ball. Let's make that happen.
Some of those, like Madison Bumgarner is like that too. He's one of those guys that can crush the baseball.
And that's where this guy, and I wish I could remember his name, but yeah, he hit that little like batter's eye, this big green wall that PNC Park has to kind of mitigate glare from the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit that and literally hit the top of it. Like that's the like farthest point, I guess. And it was a great home run. I wish I could remember his fucking name.
I remember CC Sabathia hitting one in Dodger Stadium when he was with the Indians. He crushed that thing. I mean, he's a big dude. He puts all that oomph into it. He killed it.
Who's the one fat pitcher that played for the Mariners or not the Mariners, the Mets, and he also played for the Indians? Not Carlos Beltran?
Pitcher? Carlos Beltran was an outfielder.
I'm trying to.
Good outfield. He'd probably be a Hall of Famer.
He was like a fat pitcher.
Well, maybe not now because he was part of the Astros thing. Ugh. Anyway, a fat pitcher, relief pitcher?
I think so.
I don't know, man. It could be a lot. There's a lot of
he's hit a couple home runs in his day. He kind of looks like Babe Ruth would have looked like.
Oh no, Bartolo Colon.
That's it. Yeah, Bartolo Colon.
He hit one, and it's hilarious because when he was with the Mets, he was fat, and like he's had like the biggest bloopers of all time when he swings. Like his helmet will come off, and he swings 100% all the time. You're like, if he ever got a hold of one, and he hit one home run against the Padres, and it was
that's it.
That's it. They showed that clip when I was doing that survey, and I'm like, that was one of the greatest home runs in the history. It's Bartolo Colon's home run. Yeah.
Oh, Bartolo Colon. He was part of the Indians World Series team. Or like he was part of the playoff runs that they would have.
Yeah, he was there like I forget when he started there. He was there forever. I mean, he's been playing forever. I don't think he's in the league now, but he was like 2 years ago. So
hey,
he might get a call this year. Who knows? I mean, if he can throw strikes. I mean, he's only been throwing like one pitch for the last like 10 years. So
it's probably his shoulders fucked up.
Maybe he just has like that little running two-seamer he throws, and that's about it.
But
all right. Well, that's baseball talk here in Bro Plata.
And we were catching up on your vacation.
That too. Oh,
as well.
I was talking about a while ago. We were talking about maybe going to Jacksonville. It's not happening because we decided COVID. We're still afraid of COVID. I am too. I know 15,000 people in an arena. Apparently, that thing sold out like in 30 minutes or something. So that's good. Good for them. It doesn't surprise me. I figured a lot of people would be jonesing to get back. I mean, hey, I wanted to go. But instead, we're just going to go to an Indians game. I think that Friday.
Nice.
I already bought tickets. We got club seats, bro.
You're gonna get all the free hot dogs you want, yo.
Yes, stuff your face, friend. And they're playing the Yankees.
I will say the club level of the Indians and the Pirates are the two best that I've ever been in. Being that said, I've only been also in the club level of Coors Field once, and that was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's like Colorado in its own right. Like Colorado's beautiful, but there's also a boring quality to it. Like it's this weird town where like if you go to comedy shows, you have a great time. You go to clubs, you have a great time. But it's just like a Purina factory, like 3 miles outside of town. Like it's just and oh my God, he's getting.
This. Don't worry about it.
What are you blowing your nose?
Yeah, something like that. I was doing something. All right, I was picking my nose. All right, I was doing it. All right, I did it off camera. All right, one hand here, one hand in my nose. Leave me alone, people. I'm home now. I can do what I want.
Did you eat it?
Ray, did you know that Ronda Rousey was black?
Oh God, what?
Yeah, she's black. Moving on.
Like how many percentiles?
Twitter blew up, I guess, yesterday because this came out. Apparently, although someone figured it out a while ago and she said, yeah, one of my relatives. But yesterday on Twitter, for whatever reason, it blew up. And people were like, oh, well, I just woke up and found out that Ronda Rousey was black today. I'm like, okay. All right. I guess her relative, whose name I don't remember, was one of the first black physicians in America. I believe she was the great-grandfather, maybe. So, but it's just funny, people's reaction, like, Ronda Rousey's black? So that was funny.
To me, I do not care. She's a great fighter.
It's just funny. Well, what we're hoping from her is to hear from her take a fight. That's what
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it is either. But Miesha Tate's coming back.
I did see that, and
she's calling out Nunes again. I like it. She's not just going to fight. She's going to fight for a title, right? She wants to fight for a title.
Isn't she fighting in May, I believe?
Yeah, when she's fighting that girl who just lost last week. Renault?
Oh, yeah,
Renault. Yeah, she just got
Renault.
Yeah, she just got beat by that tall girl whose name I can't remember. I apologize. I'm not looking at the stats right now.
You sexist motherfucker. You sexist piece of shit.
We'll do better. We're going to have to soon. I don't know. When do we get announced? We get announced that, or are we going to make sure it's official first?
That you're sexist?
Oh, I'm not. Really? We had this conversation, and you're saying that women shouldn't call sporting events on television. And I know it's funny. I was actually thinking. No, we bring that up. We were talking about how Clarissa Shields got done dirty by her own sport, boxing, right? And how well MMA promotes women's fights. And then people are like, yeah, these are just as good. These are great, right? And they are. And if boxing did it, it would be the same thing. Then I was thinking, I'm like, why? Really, why do people watch women's sports so little compared to men's sports? Is it? At first, I thought I knew the answer. I'm like, well, just because they're not as good, right? Is that real? But then you watch it, and you watch women's basketball. I watch women's college basketball. Granted, I do watch men's more, but when I watch, I probably watch the Final Four. And there's always great games. Like, this is great. This is super entertaining.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Like, this is just as good as the men's game. It's just as fun to watch. There's no difference to me as far as how fun the game is. There's a lot of close competitive games. These girls play really hard. So what is it? Why do people watch so less? I think these organizations have been doing all these women dirty for a long time.
They have. Oh, they have.
The NCAA. That's came out that they're where they're doing their bubble for their tournament. They didn't give them a proper weight room. They gave them like a weight rack or something. It was crazy. They don't give a shit, and it's such a bummer. It sucks.
I mean, it is as we've stated on this show many times, and we've talked about certain things. Change is slow. I honestly think there is still a stigma on female sports. I can confirm as a man who has played women and also refereed women's hockey that women fundamentally are much better than men because that is the focus of the sport. It's the same thing with like basketball.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and I honestly think though for the simpleton out there, which I do fall into every once in a while.
Well, not on this subject, but there's a lot of them out there.
There's not enough physicality for like the primate brain of a normal person. You're
talking about basketball, tic-tacky basketball.
Well, I'm talking about any like female sport outside of maybe the WNFL or whatever that thing's called.
Dude, the LFL, the lingerie league. Dude, those girls crack each other. They crack each other.
They do. They beat the shit out of each other.
I just recently discovered that. I'm watching some on YouTube. I'm like, this is great, and then I found out that they kind of folded. but they're starting a new league. But
they rebranded a few times. They went from the lingerie league to the Legends Football League.
Yeah, it's still the LFL, but they still have the same uniforms, right?
Yeah.
But I know this new league, I think they're calling it the X League or something. Their uniforms, the shorts are the same, but the jerseys are not quite as revealing as before. But the thing is, dude, this girls play and they don't get paid.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they didn't get paid anything at all. Nothing. So they're going for the love of the game to smash at heads. I'm like, if you don't like this, I'm like, oh, these girls are super athletic and they hit each other super hard. So again, now when I think about it, I'm like, why? I don't get it. What is another thing? People are trying to figure out how to speed up baseball as far as pace of play and action, as far as the ball getting in play. I'm like, you know what sport has a fast pace of play and has a lot of balls hit in play? Softball. Fast pitch softball. Like when I was doing baseball games, like high school baseball games, like me and my partner would be doing the baseball game. There'd be a softball game next to us or something. Those guys would always come to our game afterwards, and we're like in the fourth inning, and they're done already. Those games lost like 90 minutes max because they're so quick. They're just not. One of the reasons is because the culture. They just decided, hey, you run on the field, you run off the field, you do everything fast, and they try to do that in baseball. It just doesn't work. If you try to get people to move faster, it's still not the same. It's just the pace and also just the way they play the game to get the ball in play. So my point is also fast pitch softball should be more popular than it is. Olympics are coming up. I hope the women's Olympic team can win a gold medal this year.
The first Lake Erie Monsters like PA announcer was I forget what the team's name is, but it's in Akron. There's a fast pitch.
Yeah, they're not there anymore. They're called the Akron Racers. I never saw them play, and I should have because I'm sure it's fun. There's only like 3 professional softball teams, and I think now they all rotate. I think there's a couple of them that like toured, and there's a couple that had home cities, and Akron was one. But I think now there's one in Cleveland. I don't know what they're doing now because of COVID, but there was one that's in Cleveland, and they kind of move around. They play in Akron some, they play in Cleveland some. I think I haven't looked. I don't know. I haven't gone to a game. The only thing I'm like, man, if they have beer and they only serve beer till 7th inning at baseball games, when do they stop serving beer at softball games? I'm sure it's a simple answer. Probably the 5th.
I was gonna say the 3rd, because you don't want it turning into a league of their own out there. A bunch of drunk guys going out and play. Like, that happens in the fucking when people get drunk, their real selves come out.
38. Hey, 38.
Why
don't you crouch down a little lower, 38? Huh? Get that skirt in the dark, 38. Yeah, exactly. I'm guaranteed.
Hey, number 40, you want to come to my room? I'll show you. I'll give you a batting practice.
And there's just some like geeky dude in a flannel holding 3 kids. Like, that's my wife. Stop it. I don't know why
heard of
a softball player's wife.
Well, how about you and me and your husband do DP?
Now I want to go to these games. I want to go to these games to get thrown out.
That would be a badge of honor. Like that would be a badge of honor.
The thing is, even if I do it as a joke, I feel so bad afterwards because I do respect them in the sport, right? So I don't want to be the guy doing it. But I don't know, maybe if they were in on it somehow and like the end they just beat me up or something.
They throw the ball at you for like at the net and it like touches your nose.
Yeah, sure. Like a league of their own, they throw a ball at me and I just fall off the dugout. Yeah.
That's such a that was funny. I love it. You know what else we love, sir?
I don't know, transitioning
to fights. Yes,
awkward transition. Yeah.
Let's talk about this because coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. in the West, Cleveland's own the fighting firefighter himself, the man who to me will go down as probably the greatest heavyweight of all time. Guy,
I hope so, man.
I mean, looking at his record, looking at the losses he avenged, looking at how he got to the heavyweight championship, Stipe Miocic to me will always be the true one and only GOAT in the UFC besides that isn't named John Jones. To me,
well, that's right, because you don't like Khabib. All right.
Yeah, I mean, or Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson in the flyweight division. Demetrius is always going to be the greatest of all time, like without a doubt.
Amanda Nunes, yeah, like
Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, dude, it's great ones. But yeah, dude, Stipe is the man. I mean, man, I want him to win so bad tonight, so bad, man.
Yeah,
so bad. But he's fighting monster from Cameroon who he's fought before and beat, but it's not the same. It's not going to be the same.
He's a foreign exchange student from Cameroon. Merry New Year.
What's that from?
Trading Places.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was Eddie Murphy's character. He's playing a foreign exchange student from Cameroon.
Gotcha. All right. No, that fits. That's fine. I like that. That's fine. I'm not gonna give you a show bomb because it made sense. I just couldn't remember what movie it was from. Got it. Nailed it. We're fine. Moving on. Francis Ngannou was a monster. Dude, 29 pounds difference yesterday. 29 pounds. That's nuts. That scares me for Stipe. Now, what I know, he's gonna be quick. He's gonna be light. He's gonna be quicker. Even though Ngannou is insanely fast for a guy his size, man, he just crushes people. And man, he's so much better than he was before. I mean, he's not. I doubt he's gonna gas out. I really think there's no chance that he would win a decision. I don't think that will happen. Ngannou. If Ngannou wins this fight, he has to knock Stipe out.
Yes.
Which, unfortunately, I think I'm going to pick him, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I think, I'm going to pick him. But Stipe is a small underdog, and I really hope that next episode I can be like, why do I ever doubt Stipe? Because I think I picked, I don't know who I said it out loud to, but I think I assumed Francis might knock him out the first time. But now, he's a better fighter. Stipe's smaller, but he's got to fight the same way. He's going to have to be fast in the smaller cage. He's going to have to takedowns, man. I mean, he did land some double legs on him last time, which is pretty impressive for a guy, the guy that big to double leg him. But single leg will probably have to be there a lot. Still, I mean, if Stipe gets him down, I think Stipe absolutely wins the fight. I don't think. I still think Stipe's wrestling is so much better than whatever Ngannou has learned on the ground so far. But the thing is, dude, he trades and he hits you, man. I mean, it only takes one, right? Yeah. And that's how DC beats Stipe, right? And Stipe usually gets caught in his fights. Even if he doesn't get knocked out, he usually gets hit. His hands sometimes get a little low and he usually gets clocked. The thing is, though, when you fight Francis Ngannou, I mean, the last time they fought, he took a bunch, actually. So he's going to have to do that. He's going to have a chin. He's going to have to get close to him and get his hands on him.
Yeah.
And grind him out. And this is how I hope it ends. I hope Stipe submits him. That's what I want to see. I want to see Stipe get his first submission. I want him to see him to get an RNC on Ngannou.
That would be hilarious.
It's not possible.
That would be hilarious if Stipe subbed him. I would jump out of whatever couch or bar stool I'm watching this pay-per-view on tonight, because I don't know where I'm going because I ended a friendship over a Habib hat. So that's a good.
Yeah, that
day.
Sounds like you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: when you bring up that you paid $165 of your stimulus check,
his money,
it's retarded.
It's his money, Ray.
It's a stupid thing.
Hey, he can do whatever he wants with his money.
Stupid country.
He can do whatever he wants with his money. All right. I mean, I wouldn't wear the hat. I mean, listen, I wouldn't buy a hat that I wouldn't wear in public. So I wouldn't wear that in public. No. I have like one of those Fargo hats somewhere. I wear that sometimes. It's really warm.
Yeah, I like those Russian hats. I call them Russian hats because you always see like the bad guy with the like little sickle right here and everything. But those hats are dope. I would wear that hat. I would not wear one of those stupid yak hats that fucking Stipe Miocic or whoever else wears those.
So, some of those hats are way too much. Some hats are way too much. Like, you ever hear that Mark Maron bit about like him having to change his whole personality to pull off a hat or something? Yeah. Like, he found a hat somewhere and he's like, I'd have to change everything about me to be able to pull off this hat. Like, just a nice hat a hipster would rock, I'm like, I see those. I'm like, that's a great hat. If I see someone rocking it, I'm like, you, sir, you're the man. You rock
what it is?
I don't have it in me, man. I don't.
You know, it's a really good hat I pull off. My big business hat.
The big business hat.
Listen and watch to our live stream, everybody. If you're listening on audio, there are extra elements that we like to put in. And also, I do have a meme I love. The internet. Meme. The internet can be a fun place, sir. And we all know that
it can be a hellscape, too.
It can be a hellscape.
We're going to get a little bit of both here soon, I think, because we're going to get a little bit of both worlds, I'm pretty sure, when we start doing what we're doing.
I'm hoping. I would love to have haters for the first time in my life where I'm
we will.
that are nameless and faceless. Like, because I know the haters in Cleveland comedy, and I know the haters in comedy in general. Usually cuck, liberal bullshit, douchebags. It happens.
I think I'm going to be saying "bless your heart" a lot when this.
Yes.
Oh, you sucky. Oh, bless your heart. Yeah. Thank you.
But before I posted to Twitter at Plata, by the way, our links to our streams and everything that we do on StreamYard via Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And our YouTube channel, we've been getting some subscribers lately, and I'm happy about that. Thank you guys thank you guys for being subscribers on our YouTube channel. We do streams 2 to 3 times a week or 2 times a week. We try to do 2, and then interviews that we can post. And finally, the file rendered. It took a fucking fortnight to have it done, but we'll have Pat Miocic up there soon as well.
What happened to Justin? Justin on today.
I didn't hit Justin up.
It's on you.
It is.
All right. Well, let's try to get him next week for the card.
Yeah. All right. We'll get him on to talk about the fights. He's
comedian Justin Wood, who's also a big fight fan.
Justin's one of my favorite people. He's been a very supportive guy, in at least to me, and also Tim. He's a great guy to hang out with. So follow Justin Wood at Justin Wood, I believe.
No, I mean, I think there's some. I want to say, I could be wrong, but I think it's Justin_Wood_. I think that's it on Instagram. Okay. I'm not sure. But
follow Justin though. He's the shit. He's a great dude, and I loved the story. Fun. My favorite story about Justin I have is, I think it was the May or the year before COVID. It was May of COVID or the year before. He started having panic attacks like before he went on stage every show, and then would just go out and just all over the audience. Just like he ruled because he was having those panic attacks.
I think that was before COVID. I think it was December before COVID. Okay. Yeah, because some comic who will remain nameless was sneaking on his Xanax. Or Klonpin, who remain nameless.
Is he a? And this is why the video is important, kids. Follow all of it, goddammit. Right. That's how we do shit. No,
I feel bad for him.
Oh yeah, when you're having panic attacks, I had one yesterday, pretty much until I took a shower yesterday, because we don't have a hot water heater right now, so I had to go to work with angry cheeks, and that's not fun. Nobody wants angry cheeks.
Yeah, I've been out that stuff a while, so I mean, I do get panic attacks, so it really sucks when that happens, because you got to just kind of it's never fun. It's never fun, because
I had one yesterday. I had one yesterday, so I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks when you're out of shape too, because you're like, am I really having a heart attack, or am I having a panic attack? Because it could be either one, I think.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like a year ago, I went to the hospital because I was sick and I had a panic attack at the same time, but I couldn't breathe. I had to call the ambulance because I couldn't breathe. I'm like, I can't get it. But then I found out that I was sick, but I was also having a panic attack. So, it's both.
That's how I ended up in a mental institution. Actually, I drank too much and was having a huge panic attack. Admitted myself. Yeah, I'll tell you that story off air.
When Ray flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Don't you want to watch wrestling, Chief?
That would be me if I was in there. He keeps calling everyone Chief. Everyone calls everyone Chief.
Oh man, that was a dark time in my life.
We appreciate, and he calls all the nurses Ratchet.
Yeah, but nowadays it would fit. That's the thing.
You Ratchet.
Oh yeah, so I had a little bit of that yesterday, and then went to the grindstone and just crushed. Oh, I destroyed. It was awesome.
Ray Crush.
So much so that people actually offer me free beer, which rarely happens in my comedy.
That great?
Set.
That's great. I love when that happens.
So shout out to Brendan, Justin, I believe, and I forget the third guy that actually bought me the beer. But one dude looked like he was a member of Sons of Anarchy.
I want to do that show. I hear good things about it.
It's awesome.
It's just so far. Well, and I'm just afraid that the day I go is going to be a bummer. It's like a clunker one.
Believe it or not, it's never a bummer. Like I've gone to that show a bunch of times, and like the people that show up to that show want to laugh. Like that's the one cool part.
How much time they let you do?
10.
Oh, good. Oh, I'll go for 10. Probably. Yeah. All right. Because I don't really know Brand. I know John. He'll put me on.
Yeah, Brandon books it. Brandon Petrie, check Brandon out for running a great show at the Grindstone Tap House in Berea, which is about literally 5 minutes walking distance from the IX Center, and the Berea or Hopkins International Airport in Berea. It's a dope show, dude. Such a fun fucking show.
Isn't the IX Center like a giant Spirit Halloween store now?
Pretty much. Nobody. I think one dude like they closed it down because of COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So it won't stay. You have
Last
to go.
Last time I was there was Bellator. When I saw Bellator there,
I went to the auto show in like 2015. I want to say that was fun.
My stepfather took us to when we were kids to some outdoor show that went on there. I don't know. There was some cool stuff there. I don't really remember what was.
I went to the IX Center or the IX Indoor Amusement Park when that was still a thing.
IX Indoor Amusement Park.
Mm-hmm. And apparently my grandfather worked in that place when it was like I think it was a GM factory, and he was like an office staff member inside the IX Center when it was an auto when it was an auto factory back until I think the 80s or something like that. So he retired from GM long before they closed the place down, but that's kind of a cool little thing. Besides the fact, also my dad's mom died at the Ford factory right by the airport.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Every time I go to shows in like the West Side, I always see like the factory, and you're like, oh, that's the place. Cool. How you doing?
Let's go make ha-has.
Let's go make ha-has indeed. But what were we talking about? Oh, I have a meme.
Oh, you have a meme. Did you make a pick yet? You didn't make a pick for Stipe.
Oh, yeah, I'll give my opinion on the fight. I agree with you on the idea that Stipe just needs to grind. Like that's all. Mm-hmm. This is the one time I'm going to say this, but Francis Ngannou is the only guy you fight like you're Khabib Nurmagomedov. Just get on top of him, wear him down, beat him into submission, and then make him give up via either punching him, throwing elbows, on top. I think honestly Stipe needs to do what he's been doing against, high level fighters his entire career, which is just put together that game plan. But with Francis, he needs to expose the show muscle of Francis Ngannou as well, because you can put all that muscle behind it, but when you wear him down into the half of the third, into the fourth and the fifth rounds, that's where Stipe needs to do most of his work and use boxing distance against Francis. Boxing distance, and then once Francis throws a punch, you need to get the fuck in there and get past his other fucking hand that's coming right towards you and get a takedown. He needs to be on the ground for 90% of this fight.
I will say this about his coaches, Marcus, was it Marinelli?
Marinelli, yeah.
And the guys at Strong Style, I don't think they've ever had a bad game plan in a fight.
No.
They know what's up, and I'm assuming he's going to be pretty close to how he fought him the first time. Mm-hmm. And Francis knows that too. The thing is, you say fight him like Khabib, but the thing is, like, if you have the ability to take a guy down, it would be really dumb to fight to his strength. We talk about that all the time. We talked about it with Kamaru Usman, right? When he fought Masvidal. We're going to probably talk about it again when they fight next month. But it would just, because you have that base, it would be really dumb to fight in his strength when you know you can beat him this way. It would be dumb. People can say it's boring. Shut up. It would be stupid. It would be so dumb to do that. Especially it's a title fight. It's a title fight, right? I don't know if you're a journeyman who's just trying to stay in the UFC, right? Put on exciting fights. Maybe you do that. That's okay. Some guys do that, but it would make no sense, right? And plus, I also don't think those fights are boring because
I say they're boring because it's Khabib, and I do not like Khabib.
I'm not talking about Khabib because I know you're always going to. I'm actually excited to like re-explain all of our all these things to new listeners. All these ongoing your hate for Khabib, and they'll figure it out.
I was about to say, go watch the old episodes. They're right there.
I'm pretty sure they'll get it pretty quickly. It won't be very difficult to figure out you hate Khabib.
But also
go ahead.
I was going to say, for you bettors out there, the favorite right now is Francis Ngannou at -130. Stipe Miocic is the underdog, but not by much. About a 20-point underdog at plus 110. So this is basically a pick 'em at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah. I think this is about what it was last time too. Francis was very slightly favored.
Yeah.
But Stipe has been the underdog a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the underdog in the second Cormier fight, I think, and it was about a pick him for the third one, I think. So yeah, I don't know how often he's really heavily. It's so weird. I saw an article on ESPN. I don't know who wrote it. I didn't read the whole thing, but the title was Stipe Miocic, the Rodney Dangerfield of the UFC.
Yes.
Which is perfect, right? It's he gets no respect, and it's true. Like, what else has he to do? It's weird that he's not when we talk about why, right? Because we know he doesn't talk a lot. He's just a super nice guy to everyone, and but he wins, and he's a heavyweight champion. He should be the most popular fighter. But that's any fighter who doesn't like to talk. That's the mecca. I mean, Stipe is doing just fine, but that's as popular as you can get is Stipe because he's basically doing that. He's just not talking, just showing up, fighting. Let his what he does in the cage do his talking for him, and that's just how popular he is. He's just not nearly as popular as I believe he should be, but that's not really his goal. His goal is to fight and win, and he also has other stuff that he does in his life. You watch the Embedded episodes. He's still working and as a fireman, and I forget which town it is.
It's Valley View.
Valley View, that's right.
Yeah, Valley View, and then he was in Oakwood Village. It's kind of funny. The city I work in for my day job in pest control, they're in Oakwood Village, Ohio, which is where Stipe would do. I think it was like 3 days on there and then be in Valley View. So I always pass the fire station that Stipe worked in. And it's kind of cool to see. There's like a statue of like a fireman outside and shit. It's not Stipe, cool. Obviously, but it's still kind of.
It should be.
It should absolutely.
Just like a bronze statue of Stipe, like Mr. February style. It's like just him in his his fireman hat and his belt and a hose, shirtless.
I hope the day that a Stipe Miocic statue happens, that's what it looks like. Just the like full.
Hey, you know what? I bet he'll get one somewhere in the Cleveland area. I mean, I bet one of those towns will build him one. He's already like if he never wins another fight, he's for sure UFC Hall of Famer. And yeah, he absolutely should. Absolutely should get a statue somewhere in Cleveland. That's what we do in Cleveland. All right. If you bring championships to this city, we'll give you a statue. We give you a statue even if you don't. Jim Tomey, a lot of Indians, right? We love those people. Right, but there'll probably be a LeBron James statue eventually in Cleveland, and I'm all for that. But
he had that banner. That's enough.
He'll get one. And I think I like it. I hope he gets a good one. But Stipe should get one too. I hope he does. I don't know if it will be in Cleveland. Maybe
it'll probably be
where he lives.
I was about to say. He went to school just down the road from my house. I mean,
where did he go to high school?
Eastlake North.
Okay. I know he went to Cleveland State.
Yes, and I was actually about to say that when I was talking about him using his wrestling and getting inside on Francis, he better use that D2 wrestling to his advantage against the guy who, he can stop the takedown because
Cleveland State a D1 or D2 wrestling school?
D2, I thought.
I'm not sure.
I thought it was D2, but
they're D1 in basketball, and so I don't know.
Certain sports get certain designations.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. But
I could see a Stipe statue outside of Eastlake North. I could see a statue outside of the Croatian Hall outside of on Lakeshore Boulevard, just down the road from where I'm at.
I want it next to the LeBron statue. or the
No, it
Rocket
should be
Mortgage
him
Clubhouse.
punching LeBron for leaving again. That's what you fucking do.
Just weird. Like once, no one really cared. I mean, I wasn't even mad when he left the second time because I understood what it was about. Like number one, we get a championship, and also I knew it was because at the time it wasn't even a good basketball decision. So we understood why his family wanted to live there, and it's LA, and Cleveland isn't LA. I understand that, and we got our championship, so we're like, all right, man, go do your thing. It's all right. The first time was a bummer, big bummer, but second time, no one was really bummed.
Where were you during that?
I was working at Max and Irma's in Canton, and I was walking in the bar and watching TV, and I remember when he said, "Yeah, I'm taking my talents to South Beach," and it's like, he heard the rumors that day that he was going to go to Miami. You were like, it can't be true. It's not going to be true, and then it was, and it's just, your heart sunk to your stomach the way you would when like the Browns lose a big game or the Indians lose a big game. It was like that. And but I also remember the day he came back. My grandmother texted me in the morning. I woke up to a text from her. She said, LeBron's coming back. I'm like, yes. Right. And then I went up to Cleveland to do some shows that day. There's billboards everywhere. It said the King is returning or something like that.
Yeah. Return of the King was the billboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was doing my wizard character that day, Lord Thovin, and I think I did a joke about, dude, is Jesus coming back? Because he doesn't like wizards. All right. We have a thing. You don't want to get opposite. It was something like that.
Oh, Lord Tobin. We need a Lord Tobin tour. I guarantee you, Lord, and a podcast. I think Lord Tobin podcast would be one of the most highly rated podcasts in the history of podcasts. Where again, we get you doing like authors who have no idea what it is. You actually read the book and talk as Lord Tobin,
like Ali G.
Yeah,
what Ali G used to do. That was great. His show was great.
Oh, I would produce that in a heartbeat. Like you wouldn't even have. Not only would I start emailing every author I can possibly find, but I would make sure.
Don't make you read books.
That I'm all. You don't even read books, you bastard! How dare you?
Well, I'd listen to him on tape.
Nah, well, still that would work. Be like, can we get Lord? He's not. That would be the thing. Lord Tobin is not much of a reader. Can you give us an audiobook, please? No, I think I was when LeBron left, I was at a Panini's near my house, and I was with a girl I was seeing from Springfield, Ohio, right outside of Akron, that little like suburb where like the Goodyear blimp was housed and all that kind of stuff.
I know where Springfield is.
And I knew that, and then when I remember where I was when he came back. I was working for the company I work for now. And I had like a 2-hour break because there was like no stops in like during that, and I couldn't really get a hold of my other customers. So I just came home, watched ESPN, and then all of a sudden they're like, LeBron is coming back. And I went, get your fucking ass out of here. Really? He's coming back? It was a weird day because
it was awesome.
Oh, it was so weird. It was so awesome to see, even though I'm not a real big Cavaliers fan. They're probably my second favorite team just because I'm here. The Rockets are my number one, but I mean, that was a weird day, but I do think Stipe deserves a statue just for his accomplishments. He's the Rocky of Cleveland. Like he's more popular than Kelly Pavlik, for fuck's sake. And Kelly Pavlik's a Northeast Ohio legend in combat sports.
Right.
Same with Boo Boo Mancini.
We can start the campaign for it. However, I think it's going to happen anyway. I don't think we have to start a campaign, but I would like to get some credit for starting like a GoFundMe for it or something.
Do the change.org and then a GoFundMe link. I think that would be a good thing. I
think so. I mean, maybe we can wait till he retires. I think maybe he should retire before we get a statue.
And I honestly think it should be at the Q or outside of the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse because that's where he beat his biggest victory so far, in my opinion, after beating Alistair Overeem.
I really hope he gets to fight there one more time.
Me too.
In his career, I
don't care if it's a fight night and he's not champion. I just want to main event.
His swan song. I'll say it. They owe him that. I think. Yeah, I'll say it like that. They owe him that. I think they do. And I think they would probably try to get to work. I think they would try to, or Columbus, just something like that. But Cleveland would be better. He can sleep in his own bed.
To happen here. Site of his biggest victory he's ever had in his career in front of a completely sold out Quicken Loans Arena at the time. I was in attendance. I mean, it was, to me, one of the coolest fucking days of my life because as a UFC fan, holy shit, the UFC's in my hometown. How did this happen? Oh, yeah, Stipe Miocic's a fucking G. That's why.
I wonder how, I'm assuming he probably has more fights and more wins in Vegas now than Cleveland, but he has a lot in Cleveland because he's had most of his handful of fights at the beginning of his career were all in Cleveland, mostly in Cleveland, I think.
Yeah.
I think what was that guy's name? Bobby, what's his name? We talked about him before, but the last guy he fought before he fought,
was that the Midge fight?
Yeah, it was a Midge fight. Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite Stipe Miocic fights ever. Is that Midge fight?
I think that was Indiana, but I mean, I saw him fight a guy named Maynard. I forget his first name. It wasn't Gray. It was, but like some guy named Maynard. And
watch, it's his name. It's his
Ray's
brother
Armory.
Ray.
Sure, Ray. Yeah, sure.
Ray and Gray Maynard.
Silver. It's done. Right.
Silver. This is my sister Gold.
Sure, why not?
My cousin's name is Platinum.
Sure. Chrome. All right. Anyway.
No, that's the uncle.
Sure, Uncle Chrome.
Uncle Chrome.
That's not terrifying.
He used to get really mouthy at Christmas time when he'd have a few eggnogs.
Uncle Chromey. Yeah. Anyway, Gray's Armory. I saw him fight there. Anyway. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's a legendary building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's also the place I saw Cody Garbrandt get knocked out as an amateur.
Really?
Our buddy Andrew Law had a fight there. I think he lost. I think it might have been the same card. It was the same card. I think they lost in the same card. That was a bummer. I mean, he ended up going to the hospital that night because we went back to the hotel room and he passed out.
Andrew?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sucks. That's got to be a horrifying moment as like a friend of a fighter when you see like your friend go, because I've had friends sent to the hospital during hockey games and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrifying feeling. But when you're a fighter, it's expected. But at the same time, you're like, oh my God, is he okay? Everything fine? Everything good? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I was at the hotel with him, but he went with the girl he was with at the time. This was a while ago, and they went to the hospital. I stayed there and went to bed. And when they got back, I woke up. And you alive, dude? And they just said he had a concussion or whatever, but he did pass out, and it was kind of scary.
Oh.
But he's okay now, right? And like we said, we're probably gonna have him back on soon. Hopefully, gonna fight relatively soon. Oh, Brogan! We need to get Brogan on. Brogan fights in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I'll give you that one because I think.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, talk to him. We'll get him on.
Also, next week is a free week for us because there's no card next week, so we can do whatever we want.
Actually, I was thinking about something for that because I did see the gap in the schedule. I was thinking we do one special episode, which is a rewatch. Which will I want to, especially the week after Stipe fights. I think we should do UFC 203 in Cleveland, and talk about that whole fight card and look back on it because of the fact that win or lose, Stipe is from here, and it would be kind of cool to see his first pay-per-view in Cleveland. And then also look at the card because the card was pretty legit. And then also I was thinking UFC 210 down the line because I was looking at the roster on that fucking card, dude. I didn't realize the amount of future champions I watched live for $100 in Buffalo, New York.
I just think it's hilarious how much you talk about how much you love Jan Blachowicz and you didn't even remember that you saw him fight.
Well, here's the thing about UFC 210 that we'll discuss more in a future episode. Because I'll give an itinerary where I was before the fucking card, what we did, me and my one ex-friend, and then a guy we know, and the ex-friend's ex-girlfriend, who was just a total cunt. Like, she was terrible. She was one of the worst people I've ever met in my life.
This sounds like a boring episode for me, though. It does.
You're
talking about the time you had and me being here like
we got an Airbnb on top of a grow house, I believe. Like, yeah. I went to the casino and met Dana White. Like, it was a weird fucking day. Like,
where I want to meet Dana White. Where do you think he is?
The casino.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize it.
Apparently,
I had no clue I was going to run into Dana at all.
Apparently, he put $1 million bones on the Askren fight. Askren Paul. Oh, they also got handsy at the press conference.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Which one? Jake hit him. Which, man, I might have to get when is this card? I might have to get it. I didn't want to, but I might have to buy it.
I might look it up.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me Askren Paul versus Paul. I love when I tried to put in at Ben Askren, it came up with I put in the name Askren, it all immediately went to the Akron Zoo.
Okay.
That's what Google decides.
Well, whatever we do next week, we're going to bring some kind of thunder, man. It's going to be our first episode with this new venture we're going to do, I believe is happening. We need to get back to them. We have our excuse is that I was gone all week, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Yes, we might be working something out with somebody, depending on, we got an offer, so we're very excited about that. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully it does bring more fans into the show.
What
the
it
people
means
that are watching right now, I want to real quick, the people who are watching right now, we love you to death. And the fact that you guys are even watching this at all means the world to us. And I want you guys to know that from the bottom of my heart. We've had a lot of good response from our episodes since we started doing this last year.
Yeah. And nothing will change for you. If you're listening to the podcast now, I'm pretty sure.
All you'll see is a logo. That's about it.
Probably just next to our logo.
Yeah. So, we might have to change to something else that you can put multiple logos on because you can only put like one logo at a time.
Maybe. Well, also we could do it in the background too.
This is true.
We can figure it out. We can figure it out. We can do this. We're smart guys. We can figure it out.
But to the people watching this right now who are clicking on our videos, who are subscribing to all of our stuff, please do that. Keep doing that because one, it's giving us confidence to do more episodes, and also like we're getting better at this. Like we are way.
I like
better
to think
than
so, man.
One. What
have you watched episode 1 lately?
It's not as good as now.
I haven't watched it. I'm asking you,
but
that's probably true. I know
we were awkward as shit our first, I want to say 10 episodes. Then we started doing interviews. Master Ken's was our 10th. And I believe our inaugural interview was Master Ken.
No, it's Andrew was the first one.
Oh, Andrew Law. Yeah. Well,
it was like our 4th episode.
Don't kick my ass, Andrew. I love you.
Yeah, but which is good. That's a good interview because that's easy for us because I've known him forever. So that was a good one to get first. But yeah, I remember like I was trying to force jokes and stuff at the time, which I don't really do now. I just talk now, which is probably better. But anyway,
and if you're just tuning in, by the way, I picked Stipe Miocic, and who do you pick, sir?
I hope I'm wrong, but I'm picking Francis. I hope I'm wrong because I love Stipe to death, and I love Stipe. I hope he wins. My dream scenario is Stipe by rear naked choke. That's my dream scenario. I want to see Stipe tap him. He could. I hope that happens. That'd be so great. But
oh my god, if he taps Francis, I'm gonna just run out of whatever house I'm watching it at.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be good. It'd be fun. Oh, what was I gonna say? For this for the first episode of this new venture, I think I know I want to do right away. The first thing we should do. We need to do an ad read for our number one sponsor.
Walter's Anal Bleach Suppository.
Yeah, we're gonna get a good read for them, and you can do it. You can do, or maybe we can do a dual read. We're gonna do a good one. We'll have them write us a nice one, and the first thing we'll do is we'll start with a nice Walter's Anal Bleach Suppository ad.
They keep your asshole perfectly clean, like unlike those neighborhoods that you go into in the city.
Yeah, all the reads were written in 1953.
No, it's gonna go straight to 20s.
It's only been a company for like 4 years, but it's weird. But all of their ads were written in 1953.
Oh, check out our only sponsor we have, Walter's Anal Bleach Suppository. Available nowhere you can find them in stores.
It's true.
Yeah,
you have to go to the dark web.
Them yet.
Like you have to go to a creepier website than like I bought Pat Miletic's special dirt from.
Have you gotten that stuff yet, by the way?
Yeah, I've been taking it for about a week. I've spent a couple days last week because I've been kind of doing stuff, but took some today. I don't. The thing is, it does kind of wake you up like coffee does, which is kind of interesting because which is what he said it would do. One of the things he said it would do, and that's not a lie. That's true. But it's just interesting because it's not caffeine. There's no caffeine in it. So the fact that it feels kind of like caffeine is interesting.
Interesting.
Besides that, I haven't been taking it long enough to get other effects. Excuse me. But I'll let you know. I mean, listen, it's going to have to be pretty good for me to keep buying it only because it's really expensive. If it wasn't so expensive, it would be different. But it is. So I don't know. Maybe they can give me a sponsorship, like a partial sponsorship. Just make me pay half. Pay half, and I'll talk about it. All right.
That would be dope. And to anybody watching that wants really a sponsorship, all we ask is we can just say your company's name at this point. Like
now. Yeah. Like today. Yeah. Yes.
We're not asking for money. We're just looking for sponsors to do reads for. So if you own a company and you're a fan of the Bro Plata, or you know somebody that needs advertising, we'll do it pro bono for right now. Once we get up, we will be reasonable with our stuff. But we're getting almost the 100th episode of Bro Plata, and I want to have a sponsor by at least episode 100, even if it's free and we get like 25% off of something. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Dude, that guy that Percy Gardner, who played for the Indians, who lives by me, he has a good podcast. It's called 99 Miles Per Hour. It's a good podcast. It's good. Check it out. If you don't watch this, watch this. And he has all kinds of people. I mean, sports, but also like motivational speakers and authors and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. It's a great podcast. But one of his sponsors is Your Pizza, which I fed you when you were here.
Yes, so good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh,
and I think they just give them pizza. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to work out. I just want to give me a couple pizzas a month, and I'll talk about you. So you have good pizza. I'm doing it right now for free.
They'd have to mail me the pizza from where I live because it's like close to you, but like,
yeah. You can get the same by you. Somebody give Ray some food and we'll talk about it. All right?
Even if it's a Little Caesars franchise, I'm perfectly fine with that at this point. Like, I don't care if you're like, oh, we're in Eastlake. Yes, I will take the free pizza. Thank you.
Yeah, only go to the one in Eastlake. Only go to the one in Eastlake. Don't go to the other one. Don't go to the one closest to you. Go to the one in Eastlake because
it has the greatest walk-up 5 for $5 you'll ever have in your life. I mean,
I had some good pizza yesterday in Cooperstown.
Yeah, okay.
It was just called New York Pizzeria. We went there on the way out. It was with my grandfather, and it came out, and I'm like, okay, this looks normal. Doesn't look anything crazy. Took a bite, and I was like, oh damn. This is my reaction. Me and my grandfather both. It was their dough. Their dough is fantastic. I mean, they cooked it to perfection, and I don't know what they do to it. But it's great. It's fantastic. Just the crust and the dough with that pizza is amazing. And I didn't expect it to be nearly as good as it was. It was very good. Cooperstown, New York Pizzeria. If you ever go to Cooperstown, you're going to drive past it right before you get into where the Hall of Fame is there in Cooperstown. It's on the main road, Chestnut there. It's good stuff. I highly recommend it.
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
I had Revolution Pizza during the Brunson Holland fight, and they were fucking amazing. Like, holy shit, sir.
Another thing I want to do is I want to find out the best pizza place in Tuscarawas County. I want to do that. It might take a minute because I'm not going to buy pizza every week.
It's that place by Moran's, isn't it? There's like a couple of Italian restaurants.
I don't think Pangrazio. I don't know. They're okay.
Pangrazio's is pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I don't think it's the best. I think yours would be the best. Oh, there's a place in Sugar Creek. What's it called?
Sugar Creek, sir. Get it right.
The Creek. I forget what it's called, but they have really good pizza. Park City, I think. They have really good. Anytime I look on the internet, they have like the best reviews.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe figure this out. Maybe take a minute. I'll do like Barstool style. Taste. And also, if you're going for taste test, you're trying to figure out the best pizza. You got to go plain cheese, right? Because anybody can buy produce, right, and just put it on the pizza. You got to figure out the basics, how they make their basics: the cheese, the sauce.
Yeah,
the dough, the crust. That's how you do it, right? Anybody can
a good homemade sauce on a small like pizzeria.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the world of difference. I mean, there have been some small places I've had where I'm like, this is the greatest shit I've ever had. And then all of a sudden it's like, do you use fucking ragu in your shit? Like, what the fuck
No,
is wrong with you?
No, it actually makes you angry if you like try a small town pizza place and it's just garbage. You're like, what is going on, man? You even phoned it in? Like I could have gone. I mean, at least if I went to a chain, I know what I'm getting, right? If I go to Domino's, I know I'm getting Domino's. I know what's going to be. But I tried to go outside the box. I gave you a shot, and you were garbage. That's
by the way, good pun. Outside the box.
Outside the box. Look at that. Look at us. Look at us. Also, and where my family lives, Pompey's is the place we went, and it's great. I think I talked about it before on here. It's just one of my favorite pizza places, and it happened to be where my family lives in Pennsylvania, Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. It's great. I've been eating it since I've been a kid. Every time we go there, and it's great. It's New York style. It's fantastic, and the stromboli is really good too. The stromboli might be better than the pizza, but it's good stuff.
Good, yeah. I've had some.
Yeah, guys, like I said, you know what?
Pangricios was always what me and my the ex-girlfriend and her family would buy. So I liked Pangricios. There I forget what there's another Italian restaurant in like Dover, New Philly area that's pretty good.
There's Mary Cyphers, there's Uncle Primo's. Have been there?
Uncle Primo's.
Yeah, I think we talked about Uncle Primo's before. Yeah, it's good. I've only been there a couple times because it's it's kind of like the fanciest restaurant in town. It's in somebody's house. Yeah, basically, it's like a house, and it's it's just I always kind of forget that's not really something you go to by yourself, right? Or
no, that's a gathering kind of place.
Yeah, that's a gathering or a date or something. Yeah, but it's a nice place. It is. It's good, but I always forget about it because I don't go there very. I mean, it's been years since I've been there.
Do you know who is forgotten about right now, sir? Because he really hasn't had any good fights lately.
I mean, I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to let you answer it. Or do you want me to answer it?
I want you to answer.
Tyron Woodley.
Boom! Oh, we're going to talk about Tyron Woodley versus Vicente Luque. I got Vicente in this fight. Tyron has not been himself since after losing to Kamaru Usman. So I have Vicente Luque. Let's bring up the betting odds on this fight, and then we'll get your opinion on this. The Silent Assassin is my pick. The favorite is Vicente Luque by minus 250 on your screen, and Tyron is the underdog at plus 200. Do you think this dog will come to roost, sir?
This guy has won 8 of his last 9, I think. Luque, the only fight he lost was the decision to Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
And he's coming off a win. Randy Brown, he beat Nico Price again. He beat Nico Price twice. Vicente Luque is a monster. We all know that. However, I think we said this last time Tyron Woodley fought because I think you're talking about maybe he's done or he's retiring, and I was pretty sure that I was defending him because he lost one-sided decisions. It's true, but he lost one-sided decisions to 2 of the top 3 welterweights they have, right? You're talking about Colby Covington and Gilbert Burns. That doesn't mean this guy's done. It means he's getting beat by people that are better than him right now. But so I'm picking Woodley. I think Woodley's gonna. I also want it to happen because I don't want it to get sad. He's losing to everybody, but even if he loses to Vicente Luque, it doesn't mean he still doesn't belong, right? Because he's also a really tough guy, a ranked guy, a really tough guy. So I'm picking Woodley, and I hope he wins. I'm picking for decision. Hopefully, he can, get his wrestling up, get this guy. Well, we'll see. We'll see how he fights him. But Luque's a monster too. But I really think Woodley's going to get. I hope he does, and I think I'm picking him too. Should be good, man. Because I mean, 2 finishes in a row for Luque. Randy Brown, who I think if you had Randy Brown fight Tyron Woodley right now, I don't think Randy Brown would have much of a shot. Even though Randy Brown's tough. But I think even coming off of a couple losses, Woodley's still better than a guy like him. And then Nico Price was that crazy fight they had when he broke his orbital. That was back in May. So I'm excited. I'm picking Woodley, but I mean, it would bum me out a little bit if Luque just crushed him because I like Tyron Woodley.
I don't think he's going to crush him. I think this is going to be a Tyron Woodley fight, but Vicente Luque busts this out in 3 rounds.
That's possible.
I definitely, because Tyron has been kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Hesitant in in a lot of his fights recently, especially after he won the title. I mean,
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if he's just trying to get through
his
contract, if he's trying to get
you know what, man?
I don't know if
it's on without more evidence,
it's just
man.
one of those things.
Trying to coast to get his contract and then go off to the sunset. I wouldn't put that on him until you have more evidence, because this guy doesn't deserve that, man. This is a guy who's
no, and I agree with you, but it's just the way he's been fighting recently. It's like a dude, because I mean, go back to the Darren Till fight when he was a savage and gets him in a fucking anaconda, or not an anaconda. What was the fucking hold?
I can't remember. Let me look. I can look.
It's sort of like an anaconda, but you wrap the legs. Darce. Yeah, when he got him in the Darce, that was kind of the end of Tyron Woodley's like dominant streak in the UFC.
And he is getting older. How old is he? My boy is,
I want to say he's in his mid-30s.
38.
Yeah, late 30s. Okay.
Yeah, but so is Stipe. He's 38 too, man.
We've talked about that when it comes to heavier weights in the MMA.
Yeah, that's true too. And talking about really stacked division in 170. However, like I said, he's also talking about guys. I mean, he's not super smart to go toe to toe with Gilbert Burns that way, or Covington, really. And Covington's also a good wrestler, so it's kind of tough, right? Those are tough fights. But he really got outclassed in both those fights. That's why I'm excited to see how he looks against Luque. It's a good fight because they're both top 10 guys, but Luque's like in the outside of the top 10. Well, I think he's number 10. So yeah, it's a good fight. It got moved up to the co-main event because we lost the title fight. We lost the Volkanovski Ortega fight. This is a bummer. I don't think they rescheduled that yet.
Yeah, they rescheduled it. It's going to probably be summer.
263. Okay.
263, 264, something like that.
Gotcha.
And that was announced last week at the Brunson Holland fight, which we talked about it on the last podcast, the review of if I can talk, Holland Brunson. But like, yeah, that's a sad thing, man. The fact that Brian Ortega is on pace to be the next 145-pound champion, not named, Max Holloway, because Max, I mean, he destroyed him in his first fight, but like
he did.
Ortega is a fucking savage and he deserves that title shot, especially after the way he just like, I mean, I hate to say 38th paralleled fucking the Korean Zombie, but he definitely like just, it was crazy how he looked, and I want to watch him fight Volkanovski. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Vicente Luque in this fight just because he's been on such a streak, and hopefully he's able to at least get Tyron Woodley out of there. If he doesn't, I won't be mad, but it's kind of a bummer at the same time, man. Yeah.
Yes. Agreed. Sorry, I was looking at the next fight. I was looking at Almeida here.
Yes, let's talk about if I can talk again, Thomas Almeida versus Sean Megan Anderson. Isn't that sexy? O'Malley. Him and
that was the whole case. That was the whole thing. He was saying this week, man, that so Sean O'Malley is now saying that Megan Anderson, he's telling women what they should and shouldn't be offended by, which is always a good move, Sean O'Malley. Good job, buddy.
Sexism.
Way to live in 2021, man. Telling what you should and shouldn't be offended by. Wow. Great job, man. Like, I used to really like this kid. I like him a little less. That was one thing. Another one, him saying that he didn't actually lose to Chito Vera. I saw the fight. You lost to Chito Vera.
Yeah, he did.
Right? And then also saying that he has no problem with taking losses. I'm like, really? Because you have one and you're saying it didn't happen. So it looks so far, you look great at being you're a great loser. Okay, fantastic. Good job, buddy. Anyway, and this is actually the real reason I really don't. He can win me back, but the thing he's saying now, he's a young guy, maybe he won't be like that his whole career, say things like that. But that's silly because he's saying Megan Anderson should not be offended by what Casey Kenny said. He's telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be offended by when guy said something sexual about her. Which you can't, dude, come on. We talked about that all the time. I got really angry about the whole thing. Anyway, what else were we talking about? Oh, he's also said that, well, she's not even a coworker anymore. Like, that makes it better because they haven't re-signed her. I don't think they're going to either. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Megan Anderson. They said they're going to keep the division kind of. They're going to have people for Amanda Nunes to fight. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe that's why Miesha's coming back. Maybe she's going to move up to 45 and fight. If she gets a win, probably if she gets a win, she'll probably fight Amanda again. She only needs one win for that makes sense. Because there's really no division. Anyway, Sean O'Malley's fighting at Thomas Almeida. Thomas Almeida has lost 4 of his last 5 fights. He probably needs a win. I mean, he's fought tough dudes, though. We're talking Rob Font, Jimmy Rivera, Jonathan Martinez, and Cody Garbrandt. So these are tough dudes, right? But
and he got
before that he was undefeated. Before that he was undefeated. Before Cody Garbrandt beat him. I just watched that fight again the other day. It's pretty. Cody crushed it, dude, because they were both undefeated, right? And Cody crushed him. But he's fighting Sean O'Malley. He's coming off a loss. I have Sean O'Malley in this one. But however, I really hope Thomas. I mean, these are both strikers first. These guys both like to strike first. I hope. I like to see Almeida get a win because Almeida needs a win. He may get cut. I mean, he's how he lost. And however, the same thing we were kind of talking about with Woodley. He's losing, but he's losing to really tough guys. Same thing for Almeida, right? He lost. He got TKO by Rob Font. He got decision loss against Martinez. Yeah, he's fighting really tough guys. So we'll see. Maybe. I don't know. It should be a good fight. These guys are both real quick. We'll see if O'Malley is healed from that leg injury he got against Vera. See if he can beat the Sugar Show again. I'm picking him. I'm gonna say he's gonna get a finish. I think he's gonna finish him in the 3rd round.
Okay.
TKO. Sean O'Malley. Sugar Show rides again, sir.
I'm going to pick Sean O'Malley just because I do like him. I like his personality minus the sexism.
And you have a weak will if you let heroin get you.
Agreed. Fully agree.
Why not try heroin, Sean O'Malley? All right, buddy.
And this is coming from a guy who smokes weed. So, and has tried DMT. I look at heroin addicts like you're pussies. Like what the fuck?
Monster.
But let's move on. We have Jillian Robertson versus Miranda, the roller coaster Maverick, everybody, for Cedar Point fans out there. What do you think about this fight?
Well, good for these ladies, man, because I think a couple weeks ago this fight was supposed to happen. Something happened COVID-wise, I think the day of the fight, and it ended up not happening. They were supposed to be the first fight on that card, and now they're on the main card of this pay-per-view. They're the only female fight on the card. So that might have something to do with it. But either way, good for them. I picked Miranda Maverick before. I'm going to pick her again. Like, okay, I told you. So one of my favorites, Miranda Maverick, because she's a smart lady. She kicks ass, and she's also working on her PhD. So
yes.
Look at this girl. She's a badass.
And then how about Jamie, don't call me Joe Biden Malarkey, taking on Pittsburgh's own, a man who we both are fans of, and has headlined in his own home city as well. Worthy.
I'm excited. Chameleon Worthy.
I hate you.
You don't though.
That's too
anyway.
Good. Too good.
Anyway, he's the man. He's coming off a loss to a potatoes in a bag, Asimir, whatever the heck it was. And this guy is coming off loss to who is this? Malarkey's coming off losses to Riddle and Farazayam. I got Kama. I love Kama. He's a tough dude. I've seen Kama fight a lot as an amateur. When he was an amateur coming up, I saw him fight multiple times. I can't tell you how many, a lot. So I love Kama. When he came into the UFC and knocked out Devontae Smith, still one of the bigger upsets in the history of the UFC. It was pretty great. And then he got a win against Luis Pena, but he lost his fight to Asimir. So he's trying to come back, fighting a guy. I think he should be able to win. He believes he's the favorite, correct?
Malarkey, I believe, is the favorite. Let me look at it. Yeah, by plus 100 to minus one. Oh, no, Kama Worthy is actually the favorite by minus 130.
Yeah, Kama's the favorite. He should be. This guy's coming off a couple losses. I hope Kama gets the win. I'm going to say he's going to get the win. Let's see. And his 2 wins in the UFC. He has a TKO and he has a submission. So I'm going to call a decision on this one. Get the trifecta going.
Okay.
But I hope, I hope Kama gets on track. Congratulations to Kama for getting on the main card, son.
Fuck yeah. It's like when Yancy Medeiros made it on I think it was like one of the UFC like 215 after beating, I forget who he beat, but he finally got a main card fight, and I was happy. I'm happy to see Kama Worthy. I'm picking Kama just because of the Pittsburgh connection.
Yeah.
And I'm not for some malarkey. I'm never for malarkey in my normal
Get out of
days.
here, Joe. Anyway, I really hope. I think I said this before. Nick Brown is from Pittsburgh as well, but they're not in the same gym. They're not buddies. They never fought each other. Kama and Nick Brown. Nick Brown is now the LFA lightweight champion, and if you're a LFA champion, it's usually a matter of time before you get a call from the UFC.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he does. And when things open up and they start going to different cities again, someday I really hope they get a Kama Worthy Nick Brown fight in Pittsburgh. That would be insane.
That would sell the
that would be
out.
It would sell out. It would be, I mean, it doesn't need to be a main event. Put it on that main card. That would be a barn burner. It would be fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
People would love it. Pittsburgh would love it. Two Pittsburgh guys going at it in the UFC. And it's weird they never fought before. But yeah, they're in the same weight class. It'd be awesome. Nick Brown's only loss, John Gunther.
Ooh, a buddy of ours. And go find that episode, because that episode was fucking crazy.
That might have been our best one. It's one of them. That and Pat.
Yeah, our best interviews so far have been probably John Gunther and also Pat Miocic. Shout out to both of those savages.
Master Ken too.
But Master Ken, and then but ironically, one of our biggest episodes we've ever had audio wise is Brogan Enders. To me, that's shows volumes for that kid.
Yeah, not for us, for him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I appreciate the fact that kid brought us a lot of view or listens on that episode, and that was an honor to have him on, and we'll have him on soon as well. But sir, I gotta go put money in the bank because I'm not rich, but I have money. And I will be watching the UFC pay-per-view tonight on ESPN Plus because I'm getting the bundle, yo. I'm making sure I'm going to get that bundle that includes ESPN Plus and what else? I think it's Disney Plus and Hulu.
Yeah.
And you get the pay-per-view included. If you want that, it's like $89. It's not that bad. And you get ESPN Plus for a year, Disney Plus for a year, and I think also Hulu for a year. So make sure to buy that pay-per-view tonight, everybody, because this is a huge night for Northeast Ohio. It's a huge night for the UFC. So many savages that are on this card, and I'm very excited for this. Tim, give them your stuff and your loveliness to where they can find you.
At Dig Danka. It's right there. You see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
At Dig Danka. There it is.
Right there.
Right
and
there,
then also I am at Ray Highclack. I have 2 shows coming up in the month of April so far. One will be at Giovanni's in Wickliffe, Ohio, which is like right by my place. And then I will be hosting that show with a great lineup, including guys like LJ Payne, who is headlining, and Carly Robe, who will be on that show as well. Carly will be headlining a pre-420 show. I'm hosting a 420 show in Euclid, Ohio at Paradise Island, which is a huge Chuck Booms place. If you're a former Kylie and Booms fan, Chuck Booms, that's like one of his places he gets really shit-faced at. And but we do it in the basement. It's a basement comedy show. I'll be hosting that April 17th, and then April 8th is going to be Giovanni's in Wickliffe, Ohio. So go check those out. Both of those will be also on my Instagram, Facebook, and the Twitter account at Ray Highclack across the board, right underneath me. All right, boys and girls, it's time to get ready. We are an hour away from Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou card beginning. We are the Bro Plata. For Tim Danko, I am Ray Highclack. Thank you guys for watching. Keep watching. Keep thumbing up our show, giving us love.
And keep thumbing us up, everybody. Keep summing us
right
up.
up. We enjoy it. We'll bend over for it every single time. But for Tim Danko, I am Ray Hyclack. This is the Bro Plata, and we will see you at the Kumite, motherfuckers.
I really wish you'd stop saying the MF word. It scares people.